call the Water and Sewer Board meeting for January 5th, 2026 to order. Item 1 is public participation. Do we have any public participation?
She's review of my sewer bill.
Okay.
Okay.
You want to wait till the billing part? Okay.
Okay. So item number 2 is stormwater.
Yeah, in the packet, every month, we do a stormwater moment. Where it flows, everything goes. When it rains, snows, or sleets, water hits hard surfaces, it takes anything on that surface with it, through the drains, pipes, and ditches, to water rivers, lakes, streams, tributaries, whatever leads to our water bodies. So that's pet waste washes into pipes, into parks and recreation areas downstream. Oil and grease leak through cars, wash down drains into the waterways. Cigarette butts in the dirt become a real problem when they reach wildlife. Trash left on the sidewalks gets wet in the sewers. It can contaminate stormwater. Lawn fertilizers and pesticides can wash across pavement without drains, taking toxics with them. Car washing chemicals can harm fish. And again, it's still restarted. Where stormwater flows, everything goes. So we usually take one of these off every month off of the EPA website.
Okay. Thank you. Any discussion about that? Okay, item number 3 is billing issues. We usually just take them one by one. Okay, A is 348 Glens Street, the Chapman.
These were all held over from the December meeting.
Okay.
I forgot to mention that Chris Reed called. He's not going to be here.
Okay.
He's been sick with the flu. I think he emailed me along with the commission members.
No, I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
This guy right now.
It's going around.
It's there.
Yeah.
So they came in, they said there was an issue with their sprinkler system. We sat and no one knew that it was going off at night. And, it impacted them greatly.
How much was the total over here yesterday? The whole thing? 1502.76?
They were asking for a reduction from their normal bill, which is roughly 606.59, so they'd be looking for a reduction in 778.10. That's what we could have given to sewer. Yeah, they're, I guess they had a new contractor come aboard and didn't know how to utilize the existing system and timing wise.
They didn't know.
Yeah, no idea.
Had it, we just went from the source. This is 675.80. Rather than what they are requesting,
They basically request any help, so whatever we think, I'd be happy to do. It's just,
I have no problem eliminating the sewer costs if the sewer wasn't patched, and then there's some went underground. That's what we normally doing. There's no, something was discharged into the sewer, just went underground.
Should we take these as motions? Are these voting items?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
So is there a motion?
Everybody's on board with that. Make a motion, we reduce the bill by 675.80 the cost of the sewer.
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Yes.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries.
You know how this works?
Well, I mean, from the common council, yes, I don't know.
We can give a one time,
Yeah.
A one time.
Yeah.
Within
So the
discretion.
resolution will state
Yeah.
that it's a one-time relief.
It's a one-time relief.
Within the discretion of the board, if there's obviously neglect or something like that, then there's a general. If it's something like this, nonprofit or partnership, then the board generally does it.
Okay. All right, then the next item is 112 Crandall Street.
Which is,
You want to give us some
yeah,
background?
yeah, the same thing. I think this resident bought our property, and before she even moved in, didn't realize that they had a leak. And the handyman had replaced the toilet, but they had spiked, and that's something and Adam gives us these flow charts so that we can see exactly when it happened. Yeah, yeah, so that's why you can see, like I said, on that flow chart, there was only a couple of weeks. So you can see, and that's all it really takes when you have a toilet continuously running. You can see normal, their average for the 4 previous bill was 369, and this bill was 577.
Are you reducing it to how much?
By $208.64.
$280.
Most of the period that she doesn't own. So maybe
We would be okay with the reduce it to $208?
Yeah.
$208.64.
Yeah. She says she's closed on September 16th. I just purchased the 212 Crandall Street on September 16th. And that lived there for around a month. She changed the toilet in 2018, so.
So is it the third quarter she's looking for? Because to Peter's point, if she didn't close until September, the majority of that bill would have been incurred,
By the previous.
and it should have been prorated at closing. I mean, we would pull a final water sewer bill at closing, and that gets paid at the closing table.
Yeah.
So before, I mean, my suggestion is before you give her that relief, I want to find out if she got any credit for what they did at the closing table, because she won't recoup this money.
I think we should, yeah, I think we should pay almost, I think it was on table was to,
Do you have anything else?
I don't think that she was given anything because she actually paid that bill to avoid it being re-levied to her property taxes. She actually paid that entire bill. Even when she moved in September, she paid a bill that wasn't even hers. Because that bill actually was for July 1st through the end of October.
Right, and she would have only owned the property for 2 months.
Right.
So-
I'm not sure about the closing or if she got a credit in the closing, but I know she did pay that entire bill to avoid it being re-levied.
But I wanted to find out what she got at closing, because that would be an issue, and that's a title issue.
Right.
I mean, if she got title insurance, that's a title issue. Never been paid, so I'm looking into that.
So we have a motion to table. Is there a second? Second. All in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Okay. And then the next item is 39 Prospect Street.
It's another leaky toilet. Jack calls them out.
Just that, owner occupied,
This is No, this one was,
I like addresses.
yeah, Fort Edward. Adam, you went out on this one, right?
Which one was that?
The 39.
Yes. So this
Process.
is a up and down apartment. I actually went through the Jack Hall Tech, and we found a mild leak in the downstairs apartment in the bathroom sink, which he was going to fix that day. He actually, and I think she actually included the receipt from it being fixed that day. And then upstairs, she has some issues with the toilet. So she had a toilet that was running on and off. She said that she had a gentleman come in and fix it, but according to the tenant, it was still doing it. So she was going to have somebody come back in and look at it again. The Jack Hall guy that actually was downstairs. So I did explain to her that this is a one-time thing. If you get another bill in the fourth quarter, that's outrageous. Unfortunately, you're going to have to take that bill on. But it sounds like she's gotten everything fixed. I think she actually did include most of the receipts of the stuff getting fixed. So.
And from the flow chart, it looked like.
Yeah. And it looks like it actually had gone back down after she had the toilet, the sink looked at.
Yeah, so their normal bill before that was roughly about $220 the previous quarters. So I was looking at 338.39.
$330.39 in relief.
Yeah. Which is roughly $219.05.
Any further discussion? Any motions on the floor?
I'll make the motion.
We'll make a motion to
The
release
credit.
it for the relief, for the one-time relief.
Actually, I think last meeting, Mary Beth is doing, she's trying to do a chart, so we'll know when people come back the second time.
Yeah, we'll know who's.
Have a database
Yeah.
that we can look at.
Yeah.
So this will help us.
Okay. Okay,
I'll second the motion.
one second. All in favor? Okay, motion carries. So the next item is 9 Union Street.
You want to come up and join us? Yeah.
Hi, Christine McGee. And 9 Union Street, my tenant was not aware that, I guess they heard the toilet running, but you know, people don't, as long as it flushes and it works, they don't think to let you know something's going on. And it was running on overflow like full blast, because my bill was $1,700 and it's usually like $220, $230. So it must have started like right after the previous one. We immediately took care of that. I have video if you need to see it.
Let's see if we
Yeah, I did see
It's
this.
a flow chart. It's running for the full 3 months.
Full board.
I was almost.
How long have you owned the
That's
time?
out, I'm not, please.
You did the repairs yourself?
Yes.
Thank you for the pictures. So, because it ran all the time, so we received a bill of $17,1974. Her average previous 4 bills were like $226.43. So right now she's looking for a relief of $1,493.38. $1,493.38.
Any discussion? Any questions?
You know, it's a one-time relief, but you don't receive it. So if it happens again,
I told everybody, is there any water running? Let me know.
And there were no issues, all the bills were paid previously, and things like that, that's what we check also. The previous bills. There's nothing, I believe, this is the same instance where the bill was paid, so that it wasn't re-levied.
Correct, yes. And I have other properties in Glens house as well, so I make sure everything's up to date.
Does anyone want to make a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Second? Mr. Arkin, all in favor?
Thank you.
Thank you for coming in.
Okay, the next item is 52 Below Street.
Another gentleman, rental property that the gentleman lived next door to. Received another high water bill in the amount of $25.90.42. Again, gasket and seal in the toilet. Found at the end of the quarter. Let's see the amount of water that went out.
This is another case where it says that they had a history since 2016, always paid on time.
We have a payment history.
I do not have the payment history on this one. I did check with Mary Beth, wrote on the bottom. Customer history going back to 2006, always paid on time, never had a bill levied, had those customers paid. So I had asked Mary Beth to look at, I'm sorry, Commissioner Green, I did talk to Mary Beth about previous, the normal for previous bills was average of 322.52. 322.52. So they would be looking for a, really for 22.67. And I think at some point, like you said, we'll have to put a policy in place to where we have a limited number.
I was just thinking exactly the same thing.
Whether it's $2,000 or it's $1,500 or something like that. That's what we did do. They did have American. For about 10 years, no problems or issues. And it can't be more than 100% of use or limit 2,000.
You can always just make a motion to cap it. You don't have to give me a leaflet.
Bill. So I actually went back and forth with this gentleman a couple times. So he insured me on multiple occasions that he had a plumber go through both. It's actually a house and then like kind of a shed that has a service too in the shed. And he insured me on multiple occasions that a plumber had gone through, checked everything. There was absolutely nothing wrong. It wasn't until we actually set up an appointment for our meter tech to go there himself and look through the property that by the time our meter tech got there, all of a sudden there was the tenant had divulged that there was a running toilet for the last 3 months, and that's why the bill was so high. So there was kind of some back and forth about this one. That it could have been. I don't know if you want. I mean, that's a large water bill for someone that said that. He had a plumber check this on multiple occasions.
Maybe he needs a new phone.
So you're saying during this 3-month period you were going back and forth?
Yeah. I don't.
And he's saying there was nothing wrong?
Yeah,
And then
the
we get
plumber had
there, all
gone
of a sudden
through.
there's something
Is
wrong.
that there was nothing wrong? It must have been,
No.
he had no idea what the high bill was for.
As David alluded to, we don't have to give them the full amount. You can cap it at whatever you want, whatever the sewer was, whatever the.
You were going back and forth over what specific issue?
The high water bill. So once he received his bill, I obviously immediately reached out. He said, I don't know the exact amount, but he said, I just received a 2,000 and change water bill. So he said, I had a plumber come in, I had him go through, there's absolutely nothing wrong. So I told him he needed to pay the bill because it was going to be re-levied. So I said, you need to go through again, make sure you check, any sinks, gaskets, all the guts in your toilet, everything. Have them go head to toe. He said a plumber came in again. Still, they could find nothing wrong. So we actually set up an appointment at that point to have our meter tech come out, and I said, we'll have our guy come out and check it ourselves. In the morning that he went out, our meter tech actually got to the property, and the homeowner was there waiting for him for the appointment and said, my tenant just let me know that there's actually a leaking toilet, and that's why the bill was so high.
But would the next bill have also been high? Because you're saying.
Yeah, well, I think that he probably has got it fixed at this point, so it's probably want to be.
When were you out there?
I don't know the exact date, but it was at the end. It was right at the end of the quarter.
The end of this billing cycle?
Yeah. It had to be prior to December 1st because I told him that it would be re-levied, and so he.
Can I make a suggestion? He's asking for like $2,000. And we split it with, the city did treat the water, we did treat the sewage. Be fair with the guy, be fair with the city, I'd be willing to split the bill, or, split the refund.
$22.67. You only have to have a hundred.
I think any relief is reasonable. I mean,
Yeah, they gotta learn a lesson, they gotta pay something, it's not our fault.
So you're making a motion to offer $1,100 in relief? Okay.
I'll second that.
You're seconding that?
One time.
One time.
Yep,
it's a
one-time
one-time
relief, yep.
relief.
I think that's fair.
Okay, so the motion is for a one-time relief of $1,100, seconded by Commissioner Green. All in favor?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, then we go to 122 Hunter Street.
Mrs. Hagan, senior citizen, middle living alone. Usual bills between $250 and $240. She received it on $290. Shocked it was so high. I don't think this one is a leak. This was more of another misuse of sprinkler system. So she was watering more than she thought she was. So she's looking for some relief.
Has she been here before?
I don't remember since I've been
No,
Adam,
not that I know
remember
of. We don't have records of her being here before.
here. So usually Mary Beth or Adam will trigger that. So,
What's she looking for?
as she writes, her bill is like $590.48. She was looking for her average bill was, like I said, $240.
Do we have a card bill for this? I don't, there was nothing in the back.
Okay. I talked to Mary Beth about it. And she said her average over the last $240. She's always paid on time. Not an issue. She already paid, so that she didn't get re-levied. So again,
It was at $350.48.
correct.
Same thing's gonna happen next year. It'll be water and.
I hope not. I hope she learns.
Well,
Again, this will be one time.
One time.
Yeah.
She knows that.
Yeah. That's
The total relief would be $350.48. Once again, sewer wasn't involved in it. And then the sewer costs now, so. I think once we give her $350 before you set the back for normal bill.
As a one-time.
One-time.
Second.
All in favor?
And this is gonna be an issue going on and on with the sprinkler systems and pools and stuff, it has been for people,
Historically.
because you're not putting it in the sewer. We don't have the software, the capability to do it, separate the sewer from the water. So, I mean, it is what it is. Most of the city wants to spend a lot of money on software and meters and everything else. It can be done, but it's very expensive to do it.
Eventually, we're gonna go through everybody. Not many citizens left here that haven't asked for a review.
Okay, we have one additional, 66 Staple Street.
Yeah, this
This
is a church that the pastor came before us, I believe at the workshop
Yeah.
on the 15th, December 15th. Gave us his story about what had taken place at the church, and I guess there's a little,
On the house next
it was
to
like a
it.
rectory house next door. Yeah, both have been abandoned, basically, not taken care of for a while. The person that was supposed to do the bills hasn't been doing the bills. He was just asking to see if there's anything that we could do. I think what he was looking at was maybe some relief of the penalties and then some sort of payment plan. So at some point I was going to get together with David and see if that's a possibility.
Yeah, I mean, we can certainly set them up on a payment plan. I mean, normally what we do like a judgment and payment plan. Because has it been re-levied?
No, because it's a not-for-profit.
Oh, that's right.
So it was never re-levied, or we wouldn't even be
So
talking
it's
about
just,
it.
oh, this is the one that goes back to a number of years.
2016.
There's a building and there's a vacant lot, and probably a parking lot. This thing's struggled for years and years and years. I think they caught up at one
They're
point.
gutting the house right now.
Huh?
They're gutting the house right now, the house
They-
that's on the
yeah, he-
property.
this
They're
gentleman
they
that's
live right
here-
next to it.
Kind of taking over and actually spending his own money on the thing. Trying to get it caught up, so
Yeah, I mean, you can certainly set up a payment plan. There's no reason you can't do that.
could we give relief of penalties?
I think I'd have to look, Dave, is that something that can be done?
I'm gonna double check. I don't believe. Yeah. Gotta double check.
We told the pastor that
We
we'd
should
look,
table that
we'd
again.
look into it, yeah, we would look into it.
Maybe,
and
you can
probably-
find out.
Probably
if
get
he's capable
discussion.
of making a payment plan.
And maybe try to bring him back in for the workshop and go over it, and then David will have some
Yeah.
answers by then.
I make a motion to table that.
Second.
All in favor? Okay. Motion's tabled. Resolution tabled. Okay, so now we go to resolutions. So the first one is the approval of the water and sewer minutes from December 1st, 2025. You all have a chance to look at those? Any motion?
So moved.
All in favor? Okay, those are approved. The next one is a resolution to approve the warrant.
I have no questions on it.
Okay, all in favor?
Make a motion to approve the warrant.
Second.
States, all in favor? Motion passes. The next resolution is to move the water and sewer postage funds to central mail for 2026.
I would like to table this, because I'm not sure if we did it properly, or what year it was properly supposed to go on to, so we're looking at some of this.
Okay,
Make a motion to table.
Second.
all in favor of table? Okay. The next resolution is the transfer of funds for reimbursement for the switchgear.
Now, this resolution obviously going to be retroactive because of the council.
That's why
We tried to have a special meeting on December 15th, because we didn't have the proper advertising of it. We couldn't, so this was already approved by the council, but we'd like to just for business decisions, make sure everything's
I'll move the
accurate.
motion.
Second.
We will after this transfer, and the money should be transferred already. I did actually email the city controller today about the transfer, to make sure it was there, because we're trying to pay December's bill. So hopefully it's there.
We have resolutions.
So we had a motion and a second, all in favor?
Yes.
Yes, okay. And then the next resolution is for the new back truck lease financing.
Yes. We've discussed this, it's the money that we've put into the budget for the next 6 years, actually. We'll look at financing, at least to own the VACCON. In your packet is all the information regarding the truck and the financing through Sourcewell. It's been run through Carrie, so she's aware of it. And so we had to do a motion, and then it has to go to the city council for final approval.
Is there some kind of lead time on getting the vehicle?
Yeah, it's like 90 to 120 days.
That's not too bad.
Doesn't seem, that's what, I was surprised too, but
Is the other one gonna hold on that long?
Probably not.
listen, we didn't have any water main breaks. We put the reeds out there and said, "Oh, we haven't any water
Yeah.
main breaks." It's like
We
this
can't
guy-
get that
like
new
last
one
night,
fast
this guy
enough.
never misses a field goal at the end of the game. That's the when we looked at trading the truck in several months ago. We were going to get $70,000. We put about $40,000 worth of repairs in, and that upped our reimbursement to $100,000. So we're going to hopefully,
Hold on to that number.
hold on to it and, just move along slowly with it and try to baby it along so that we get to the point where we're going to trade it in. It's
Well,
really
this
about-
new truck, we're gonna try and trade it in sooner, so. we
Yes,
can
and
get more out of it.
that was the recommendation. Our truck now is 7 years, almost 8 years old, and now it's 100,000. So if we traded it in at 6 years, it would have been 200 or 250,000. So
So then Boomer said 3 to 5, something like that, trade it in and.
probably look at 5 to 6. Should we get a really good number?
And really get number,
Yeah,
right?
for the
Have a
trade.
decent vehicle, they'll repair them every
And they
day.
use it all the time.
Yeah, and it does become, it has become more than just, a sewer truck or whatever. We do a lot of hydro excavation, and that's
We also-
really, really hard on it. And this truck is built more to that theme rather than the old truck was.
We also talked about doing like a equipment fund for trucks and.
We had looked at putting a set aside for vehicles.
I think that's a good idea to create reserves for those kind of expenses.
Yeah, for the future.
Yes, absolutely. So it sounds like we're looking favorably at this. Does someone want to make
Yeah,
a
we've been
motion?
discussing this
Yeah.
for a while.
Okay.
I think we should- I'll move the motion.
Okay.
Second.
A second. All in favor? Okay, motion carries. The next resolution is a retroactive re-levy of 2024 water and sewer bills onto 2025 property tax bills with the county.
This is as it says, retroactive. It was done by the city council, but we never put the resolution through from the water and sewer board. So, so it's housekeeping, so it's basically, was noted by the auditors. So in order to go ahead and make sure that everything was proper, they asked, Mark asked me to go ahead and do a retroactive resolution for the 2024.
I'll move the resolution.
Second.
It's already done. It's already done. We're just doing, it's just some paperwork that wasn't filed correctly.
It says, you were having on the 2025.
Right.
Yeah, so that was,
We gotta reach.
So it would have gone out on the 2025 town and county tax bill, anything outstanding
Last-
from
like
2024
last January.
would have been re-levied by the county at the beginning of 2025, last January. So, and presumably already paid by whoever was re-levied,
Yeah.
or they still have outstanding taxes.
So this was already done, but you never passed a resolution to do it, and so that's all that's happening here.
It's just a way of correcting the paper.
There's two, and then we're gonna approve
Now we're gonna approve
this year's.
Re-levy. Which is worth.
Okay.
Any other questions, or does that make sense to you? You're okay? Okay. All right. So you made a motion, you seconded, and all in favor?
Yes.
Okay. All right. And then the last resolution is retroactive re-levy of 2025 water and sewer bills onto 2026 property tax bills with the county.
Yeah. Here again, this was one of the ones we were gonna do at the special meeting, but because of the advertising, we moved that down. And, Mark was just completing the re-levy, so we needed the proper numbers and stuff like that. And so, again, it's
Move that. Motion.
Second.
Okay. All in favor? So now we can move to discussion. Looks like the first item is the electrical upgrade.
Yeah, we'll discuss that. We have been getting a lot of interest from EFC about financing it, so we're looking at a bunch of different options. We're looking at some grant and other possibilities. Hasn't really come to fruition about any kind of grants up until this point, so what we're looking at is probably a 30-year financing, 35-year financing at 0% for 50% and 4% for 50%. So basically 2% for both projects. And as I said before in front of the council, I'm not worried about financing it for that long.
No.
With all the new electrical stuff, plus the fact that, as Chris knows, if we have the new asset management coming in, that'll make sure that, you know, what the lifespan of every piece of equipment is and every piece of electrical system or bucket that's in. We spent almost 3 weeks with the asset management team going through every piece of equipment in the treatment facility.
Appreciate that.
And
That's
they-
important.
They probably had, 4 or 5 people on the ground here going through everything. And this was from a grant from New York State.
Bill, has the amount been finalized yet?
Not yet. And every minute it seems we go by, it goes up. So we're hoping to
The
get.
drawings are all set.
What's that?
The drawings are totally.
The drawings, everything, it's all set 100%. We do have some stuff that at the end we rolled into, so that maybe come up when we do the final bid, and maybe some addendums to that. Well, we have to send, we've got to discuss it with EFC first, meet with EFC, and then we have to send it to them. They have to review it, approve the drawings and everything, financing, and then we go from there. You know, we've been in touch with bond counsel. Jeremy's been working quite closely with bond counsel and David and insurances to make sure we have the proper amount of insurances in place so that, you know, once we do go out to bid, there's no red flags for EFC, so it's a smooth.
A couple of years out.
We're probably 18 months before we see any kind of shovel in the ground, and probably another 36 months before completion.
It's fortunately an opposite.
Well, and then, you know, we did get some good news about our transformers, that there's been no degradation to them, they've not declined in any way, so we were doing it every 6 months, now we've moved to every year because we always come back to it, so. And that's from Gus.
Yeah, so we used to do ours every year.
Yeah.
And we did have our first test of our switchgear about 3 weeks ago. I got a call at 4 in the morning, saying the power went out, came back on 30 seconds later. For everything fired up in the plant, I just had to come up and walk through and make sure everything was good to go. So that did work. It was well worth it.
He does good work.
It's a lot better than the rushing up here in an emergency and having to hand switch everything and hoping that it works.
This is what I walked through with you when we were in
This guy that we use, Gus Minenberg, one of you familiar with him? he did work for me when I was a part and stuff. The guy's phenomenal. You know,
Oh,
he does work everybody around.
yeah, I mean, no matter who we talk to, we say, well, this switchgear failed and we had it switched out in a week. And they say, what? Well, that's unheard of.
He was incredible.
And at least it makes me feel more comfortable, and probably Chris a little bit too, is if you have an issue with the transformer, he has one down there too. You know, it's amazing. Yeah, he's amazing that he has this. This is what he does. Though. This is that fire in Rensselaer County. He rebuilt their whole thing. So
Okay.
yeah.
Anything else on the switch, or on the electrical?
Nope.
Okay, so request for proposals for engineering inspection and inspection and maintenance plan for reservoir and intake dams.
Something that comes up every few years that we need to do. I'm working with Jeremy. It was done about 4 years ago. We've had four dams and intakes that need to be taken care of this year to meet the New York State requirements for dam safety. So we will be taking care of that. We'll be sending the RFP out hopefully within 4 or 5 months. And then we'll get them back, and hopefully by the beginning or midsummer, we'll have all the reports and everything into DEC to meet their requirements.
One of those small issues.
No, we do have some issues with the intakes with the route. So we're looking at the gunite. So we're looking at what we want to do there. We've got a couple different contractors and looking at different options for us, but that's going to be quite an expense too. So we're looking at that. One more thing on the discussion that came in after the agenda went out. We had a water main break on Fort Amherst last Tuesday. Dan and his crew did an outstanding job working all day. Miserable, cold weather. Back on freezing up every 2 hours, having to go back into frosting. They finally got it about 7 o'clock. Dan wasn't confident in the repair. The excavation just kept falling in. Fort Amherst was right by the stream. So it kept falling in. I said, how confident are you in the repair? He said, I'm not that confident. Dave's, whose hands were underwater and freezing cold, I don't know for how long, putting a sleeve on it. They got it. We had water all night. So I put a call into Tom Kubricki to come with a larger machine, and he had the proper materials to block it so that we could do the repair properly. We had a 1 foot band clamp on it. We went and got a 2 foot, did the repair. We were out of there by 2 o'clock on Wednesday. It's just that we didn't have the proper equipment to Yeah, it just the banks just kept caving in. And every time Dan thought he had it, the bank caved in. So we had to get some sheeting in there.
What was the pipe just old?
It just had a circular crack in it. I think it was ductile iron. I don't think there was. Thank God it was just that, not a longitudinal. Doesn't yeah, it just seems like it's just a stress crack. Again, it's Chris Reed's fault.
I saw the email that came in from one of the neighbors. Thanking the crew.
I unfortunately didn't print it out, but I will have it for the, yes. There was a nice neighbor. At that night, I'm sitting right after Dan talked to me. They got it, and all of the neighbors, I called everybody afterwards. All the calls came in. I said there may be some interruption. They were, for the final repair, they had the water off maybe half an hour. That was a long time it was off that. And they were all so happy with the amount of work that those guys did.
Same story over and over again.
Oh, it is. In the summertime when we're standing by an excavation looking at it, and we're here, oh yeah, look at the city workers doing nothing, standing on their shovels. Yeah, nobody passes by and says that when we got ice dripping from our noses.
Well, please thank Dan and the crew, and I appreciate you being in touch with all of the neighbors too. The communication makes a big difference. Okay, so next item is personnel.
No,
Is there anything for that?
No, we're all set with personnel issues.
Okay, next proposed meeting dates. Water and sewer workshop meeting on Tuesday, January 20th at 2 p.m. And then a regular water and sewer board meeting on Monday, February 2nd at 2 p.m. I guess we'll take a motion to adjourn unless there's any further comments.
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?